Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is me, Jordan Young, and this is another Certified Hood Classic. Today we are counting down the top 10 best retro sneakers of 2024. I've done the most underrated, done the best collabs, and after today's retro list, it's going to be on to the top 10 best blue shoe. No, I think I should be able to come up with a pretty decent top 10 sneakers of the year list, just picking the best bits from all of these other lists combined. And so I look forward to bringing you guys that video later on this week. Right, so before we jump into this list, I should probably clarify what I mean by retro sneaker. Technically speaking, a retro sneaker is any remake of an original sneaker. For example, these 2006 Air Jordan Lightnings are a Jordan 4 retro. Despite the fact that this is an original colorway in its own rights, it's a retro Jordan 4, considering the model originally came out in 1989. I'm going to be featuring solely sneakers that came out this year that we have had before in the past. And as we cruise through the list, you'll completely understand what I'm talking about. These are just a few honorable mentions. First and foremost, the Jordan 6 Olympics, Jordan 11 Legend Blues, the Jordan 4 Fears, the Jordan 9 Olives, Powder Blue 9s, Air Max 180 Ultramarines, the AirTech Challenge 2 Hot Lava. I mean, these are just some somewhat notable worthwhile mentions. The top 10 list that I have to share with you guys is pretty much comprised of sneakers that I actually managed to get my hands on this year, with one exception. But we'll jump into the list nonetheless with pair number 10, the Air Force 1 Low Linens. These also featured on my most underrated pairs of the year lists, and I think that's true, man. These have gone completely underappreciated in my opinion. This sneaker is a fantastic colorway. In a time where tan and pink or brown and pink is all the rage, somehow these sneakers found a way to be somewhat unappealing, because these, my friends, are available right now for under retail, which is crazy. Right, so at number 9, this is a pair that I didn't actually manage to get my hands on this year, but I would have liked to have had they been more available. These are the Air Jordan 17 Low OG Lightnings, a pair that originally came out in 2002. I think it caught a lot of people off guard that the Air Jordan 17 was so popularly received this year, but honestly, I think a large part of the reason is because we haven't been getting these types of retros over the years. We've just been getting beaten upside the head left, right, and center with 1s and 3s and 4s and 5s and 6s and 11s. These higher numbered Jordan models have been kept back from Nike, and there's a real appetite for them these days. Next up, we've got the KD4 Weathermans. This was an iconic retro to come out this year. It's one of the best colorways of the KD4, and I guess probably should shout out some of the other notable KD4 retros we've seen this year, particularly the Galaxies as well as the Nerfs. I only got my hands on the Weathermans. I'm a big fan of green, as you guys know. I do like this colorway. I do like the storytelling behind the sneaker as well. And if these don't rake up the feelings or the nostalgia for the Nike basketball era circa 2010 to like 2015, 2016, I don't know what will. Really well executed retro. They pretty much got all of the features bang on point. These have been sitting and are available under retail. At number 7, the Air Jordan 5 Olives. This is one of the best non-OG colorways of the Jordan 5, in my opinion. These originally came out back in 2006, and I picked these up in the end of summer season sale, so I was so delighted to be able to pick these up at nearly half price. And I can remember this shoe floating around in 2006, 2007, that type of era. I mean, these sports, the classic olive colorway that people like Travis Scott have popularized in the modern day. And so it's kind of crazy to me that given the popularity of that particular color scheme, these didn't get more love. Desperately underappreciated and underrated retro, in my opinion. At number 6, the Mr. Stash Nike collab on the Blue Pack. I'm going to go ahead and just include both sneakers from the pack in the list, even though I only got my hands on the Air Force 1s, because this pack originally came out in 2006, and here, 18 years or thereabouts later, they decided to bring both sneakers back, which I think was a really good touch. From a release perspective, it seems like this release was really fair. From a production standpoint, it looks like Nike went ahead and made a whole bunch of pairs, more than enough to go around, particularly the Air Force Ones. And the great thing about this release is that, let's say you have the original pairs from 2006. It's almost a certainty at this point that the Air Max 95s that you have are not going to be wearable in 2024. And similarly with the Air Force Ones, I like how they decided to go ahead and upgrade and update the materials so that the Air Force Ones from 2006 can continue to be somewhat original. They did the same thing with the Air Max 95s as well. So this was a really fair release. It's an absolutely dope sneaker with some really awesome history. And they made the 2024 retros unique enough in their own rights to separate them apart from the originals, which is sweet. Rightio, we're into the top 5. Honestly, you could kind of jiggle this order around to suit the mood on any other given day. I'm going to start off with the Wu-Tang Dunks. I know this is going to be a bit of a hot take because some of you out there probably have this as your number 1 retro of the year, and I can totally understand why. This is a sneaker that used to go for 20, 30k in the resale market. It's one of those quasi-official Nike collaborations from back in the day. The sneaker was shrouded in a lot of mystery where even people that were situated close to the projects didn't even know how many pairs were out there. And to have a sneaker that was maybe around like 30 or 100 pairs in quantity, retro as a GR in 2024 was crazy, albeit bang in line with Nike's current vibes. The release itself, I want to say, wasn't even too hyped up. Yeah, there was some good promotional material out there. Yeah, there was a lot of people talking about them. But it seems like when the release came around, most people that wanted to get these were able to cop them pretty easily. In fact, there's still some sizes sitting in some places here in the UK. The sneakers themselves are of a good quality. I do give them that. I do like the quality on these Dunks. But it kind of felt like they could have done more with things like the packaging, for example, to make this collaboration feel a little bit more special. Coming in at number 4, the Nike Air Max 1 Patta Chlorophyll. This is, for a lot of Air Max 1 heads out there, one of the best, if not the best, Air Max 1s of all time. 20th anniversary celebratory Patta collab. Patta are pretty much like the GOAT collaborators with Nike when it comes to Air Max 1 releases. And honestly, in my opinion, they did a really good job with this retro. The quality's good, the materials are dope, the colors bang on. They've also separated it apart from the original in a couple of unique ways. And the release itself was pretty dope. I mean, they gave the lion's share allocation to Patta themselves to wheel out some in-store releases, which created this in-store lineup camp-out experience that we've really not been seeing a lot of lately. And honestly, for me personally, I just really like this sneaker and this colorway, so that's why they're here. Radio, into the top 3, we've got the Air Jordan 4 Bred Reimagines. Now, I know this is a reimagined and not a retro, so there are maybe some people that want to type that out in the comments and just to be a smartass, I don't know. But honestly, I think this is probably the best reimagined to date, because this is the reimagination of a sneaker that, in my opinion, supersedes the original. Use of leather on the Bred 4, it's just chef's kiss. And I'm so thankful that Jordan 4 hype really fell off around this release, because I managed to pick my pair up lightly used for under retail. Quality is good, the shape is good. You can now wear your Bred 4s out in the rain with absolute glee, not like you could do with the Nubuck pairs in the past, because that was going to just send them on the fast track to ruination. It's just the ideal reimagined sneaker. At number 2, the Air Jordan 3 Black Cements. These had to be there. I know the BC3s have retroed a whole bunch of times, something like 7 times over the years, but this particular retro is a retro that you could make a strong case for being one of the best ever. All of the features of this sneaker make it about as close to the OGs as you're likely to get. And number 1 is going to be the military blue 4s. I don't think this is a contentious take. I think a lot of people out there are surely going to agree. We have been waiting for this retro for a number of years now, and I'm so glad that they came out in a time where Jordan 4 hype has fallen off a bit, because these were easy to cop. They're out there for retail, even under in some places. And the reason why this is such an important retro is because this is the first time this sneaker has come out in this fashion with the Nike Air on the back since 1989. Much like the BC3s, some people had some QC issues out there. My particular pair, no big dramas. And it was kind of funny to see people complain about these because they didn't look like the last retros of the military blue 4s that we had back in 2012 or 2006. But if you know your sneakers, and if you know your sneaker history, and if you've been tapped into the game for some time now, you'll know that this is the military blue 4 that we wanted all the while. And there we go. Those are my top 10 retro sneakers for 2024. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? If you want to tap out your top 10 retros down below, I would be very interested to see your own lists. And as always, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video. Don't forget to like it before you bounce, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and make sure you turn on the notification bell so you don't miss when I upload another one of these certified hood classic bangers. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care for now, and peace.
Hey, new beginnings on the cusp. Not too old to adjust. Old dog, new tricks. Remember, I was just a pup. Something dirty in my cup. Clean soul, good karma is a must. Still my shooter in the cut. I was stuck inside a rut.